I'm in my life away today. All right.
Ladies and
Nice.
gentlemen, welcome back to the number one most valuable real estate community in existence. Today we're sitting down with Mr. Bob Saadai. We're going to be teaching you all how to sell. Very, very exciting times today. Let's hop
Morning. Haven't
into it.
talked to you in a while. Lily. Good morning, sir. How's everybody doing? What do we got going today?
Good morning.
There he is. Mr. John Johnson.
How are you doing today, Mr. Saadai?
Oh, dang. I can't hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, dang. John, I can't hear you. I don't know if it's on my end or
Can anybody else hear me?
your end.
Let me know in the side chat. Jay can hear us both. Um, let's try to reconnect Bob. Fantastic. We've got 10 people joining us so far this morning. While Bob is getting the sound together here, let us know in the side chat where you are currently at in the world. Where is everybody at? What is everybody doing? What market are you all in? Mr. Saadai, can you hear us? You there? Mr. Boatwright in the audience today. A lot of heavy hitters joining us. We're going to send out a couple announcements, get some more people to join us. In the meantime, definitely, ladies and gentlemen, take advantage of this opportunity to let everybody know where you're at. You'd be surprised the types of relationships that you can make just by attending this call alone. Whether that's private money, finding a active cash buyer in your market, or even another wholesaler that can help you find buyers in your market. Always great. We've got agents in here as well, people that are willing to list your novations. And I actually had an amazing call today with a gentleman that is an incredible closer in terms of deals. I'm talking not on sale side, but title work, a title company. This guy is running a title company, a nationwide title company. He's working with some of the biggest names in the industry. And I was referred to him by somebody that I met, huge real estate guy out here in Medellin, Colombia. And I'm excited to try out, a closing with him and see how it goes.
That sounds awesome.
Good morning.
Are you going to share with us? Good morning. I can finally hear you. Sorry about that.
No, all good, all good. Yeah, I'd be happy to share with you all and bring him on for a podcast. I want to make sure that the experience goes smooth. But you probably
Right,
know
right.
him, Mr. Devine.
Maybe. Oh, okay. All right. Yep. Good guy.
Yep, great conversation. I'm
How did you
excited.
meet? Yeah, you met him already? Cool.
Yeah, I met him through a gentleman that I met here at a charity event the other night. They hosted a charity event for mothers, that are without a home, that have children on the way, that kind of thing. From a gentleman named Mr.
Hmm.
Robert Shemin. Not sure if you
Oh,
know
okay.
know him.
Don't know him. No, I don't.
Great connections, man. I met another
Okay.
guy. He introduced me to Mr. Michael Fitzgerald. He
Where are
said
you
he.
at that you're Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, no, all good. I'm in Medellin, Colombia, Bob. This place is popping. A lot of people are out here. A lot of real estate heavy hitters.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Go figure. I would have never thought that. That's awesome.
I'm
So you're
grateful.
meeting all these big guys.
A lot of developers, commercial developers, apartment complex builders and owners. It's a real diverse community out here. And, they've taken a liking to me. And believe it or not, it was Simon, your Simon, that connected me with
Mhm.
the group out here. And I mean, that was just incredible. So just it goes to show, right? Just that one
Nice.
connection, ladies and gentlemen, having the right
There you go.
connection, the right relationship with somebody, it's going to open up doors that you never even knew existed.
Love it. That's awesome. Fantastic. Good to hear. So now it's time to make the best of this opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I know that you're taking advantage of it already. So what are we doing here today, man? Because I got work to do.
I was trying to get one of Matt's guys to get on the phone and do a call live. They didn't want to do
Uh-huh.
that. So I mean, I don't want to hold you up, Bob. I know today is a real busy day for everybody. I'd love to take
Yeah.
advantage of this opportunity to answer some questions if people have any questions. But I'll be honest, Bob. I've been kind of just kind of observing. I really feel like a lot of the people that have heard about wholesaling, especially even in our community, may have gotten in here because of the hype around, oh, well, I can get rich fast. I can make a $10, $20, $30,000 check. And all I got to do is make a couple phone calls until they start picking up that phone, Bob. And they realize, like, hey, this really is not just a get rich quick kind of thing. I got to really become more than I am and do more than I've done to be able to earn more than I have. So
The phone
I
gets heavy in their hand, huh?
not only the phone, but I think even tapping in. I don't know if the Discord got silenced. If when we were talking political stuff, if it got silenced, people aren't getting notifications. But I've been seeing so the numbers are not where they used to be.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's two things. I think it's the fact that wholesaling is a lot more difficult than people think it is when they first get started. So maybe a lot of people that were maybe just getting started aren't really showing up anymore because they see how difficult it is. I see the same people in here that have been
Mhm.
here for a long time,
Yep.
sticking around, making the calls, closing deals, that are still showing
Yep.
up, and it's fantastic to see those beautiful faces. But I think that it might kind of be what we're talking about. Maybe if it's too like surface level, it's not really attracting like the people that maybe have already started closing deals and want to dive deeper into how they could scale, or maybe things that they could do to improve their business, instead of maybe like talking about beginner stuff. Because I don't know, maybe there's a lot of material out there, a lot of content out there that's aimed towards beginners, and
Hmm.
maybe we could do something different where it's more of a high level thing. And that's something that I've been thinking about too lately, is like, we have put a lot of beginner friendly content out, and especially helpful to me, when I was first getting started and that kind of thing. But, as we progress, as we level up, so should the conversation, I think. And maybe that's why we are not seeing a lot of the members that have, closed multiple deals, participate in more of like the beginner calls, like underwriting stuff. And, I don't know, learning how to talk on the phone because they already know these things.
So, should we gear this towards something else? I mean, the topic. Should we make it something that is more valuable to more people?
Well,
Or should we have different shows, different live streams for different um, levels of investors?
that's
You know?
the next thing to think about. Um,
Yeah.
it's been
Because
hard
you're always
because
going to have new blood. You're always going to have people who are just starting. You're always going to have those people who are going to ask the same questions over and over and over and over again, right?
right.
That's just the nature of any business.
But my whole thing is
But
like, even if we get these new people, right? Because it's easy to get excited about real estate. What is the
mhm,
real conversion rate? How many people actually stick with this? It's got to be really like a handful of people.
yeah.
This business really is not for everyone. And I don't know. I think I'm trying to, I don't know, think about ways that we could take it to the next level. But
Well, Nina's throwing out some ideas. She says, I would love the underwriting call, maybe to a week series. So, the underwriting call, are you talking about the one that we're doing on Tuesday afternoons? I'm not sure because we are doing underwriting calls. People can show up and we can underwrite. My team and I go in and we underwrite for people. 2 week series on different topics. Well, it depends on the topic, really. I mean, some topics might need more than 2 weeks. Some topics might need, just an hour. So it all depends on the topic, really. But good ideas. I'd love to see what John and everybody else has to say about that.
put out a ping too.
Um, Cam says I've got 330K ARV property under contract right now for 150. Only needs 30 in repairs. Fantastic. If your numbers are correct, you've got a grand slam. Now you got to go find the buyers. You need help? Reach out. Yeah, that makes sense, Nina.
That's what what Vince said is just kind of what I've been thinking about lately.
Yeah,
Is people don't value stuff as much when it's free,
yeah.
um, and it's true. But the value is here. The value really is here, and I'm worried because I think that if we were to put a price tag on it, it would limit it in some way, maybe like the reach. But I want to get more people in here that really do want to take this serious, and I'm happy to refer people that are interested in maybe getting started, to watch the literally hundreds of videos that are already live on the YouTube channel, just the replays. But for
Hmm.
people that really want to take this to the next level, I think we should think about coming up with some sort of offer to these people. um, it's got to be something. There's got to be some reason like why people decide to show up every day.
They need their fix. Yeah, I agree. Um, but sometimes a lot of people show up just to maybe catch a piece of nugget, you know, from you, from me, from someone else. Okay, and that's it. That just gets them going for that day. Good morning, Q. See, look at the guy. He just finished the night shift and he's in here. Okay, that's dedication. Love that. Love that. So these are the people that I want to work with. I mean, the people that come here, like you said, every day or as often as they possibly can. These are people that are, more serious, that want to learn, that want to be involved, and they just need to participate a little bit more. And I'd love to have them join us. You know, reach out to us, reach out to John, reach out to me, reach out to other people, quote unquote leaders in this community. Okay, we're here for you guys, but we need your participation. Okay, this can't work only one way. It's got to be two ways. And like you said, John, for the advanced stuff, maybe we should charge. Yes, there'll be a smaller audience, but they'll be much more active and much more participatory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what we started last year, if you recall. We started just to see, hey, we're here to help. And it gradually grew. And then, it becomes daunting. Good morning. It becomes daunting when, you're doing this, you're showing up, you've made the commitment. I made the commitment to show up every single day. And we did. Um, but not everybody else is committed like us, you know? So it becomes a little bit deflating. But if they pay, maybe they will show up more often. Hey, man, I got something on the line now. There's some skin involved. So that might be the right route to go. What do you guys think? We have a decent sized audience right now. Fear is numbing sometimes. Absolutely, Anthony. But guess what? It's telling you something. It's trying to teach you something. So listen to it, thank it for bringing its advice to you, and just keep moving along. Take the next step. One step. Just take the next step. That's all you need to do. Yeah, I agree, Nina. Everybody has different timing as well, but that's why they're um, taped, recorded, and they're on the YouTube channel, so people can go and watch it, and we can tell by the number of views who's watching and who's not.
That's another thing, the YouTube. I'm surprised, Bob. The YouTube does get a decent amount of views. I will say that the YouTube does
Well,
get
that's good.
a decent amount of views. We will get around 50 to 100 views coming in on the replays, and that's always cool to see. But how I'm not really as concerned. I don't think about I don't even know, man. It's like I don't really feel the best about trying to make a subscription thing where that's how we earn money, because we earn money by actually doing this business, right? But then you see
Of
somebody that
course.
comes into the chat and they've got this entitled attitude, like we work for them or something like that. And to be honest, man, none of us have to be doing this, right? Nobody has to be up on the stage. Like Bob and I, we don't really have to be here. We love to help people and we can benefit from doing deals together, but we don't make money by charging anybody to be here, right? So I mean, if we are generous enough to help you, that's great, but we're not by any means tied here. We want to be here. We want to help more people. And what I'd like to see is if more people could be helped, right? And I'd like to see the audience really be filled up to 2, 3, 400 people, because we got a huge community. And yeah, I guess the
Hmm.
timing is different and people, tap in when they can. But, you know, um, this is that opportunity, right? I don't want to be in the middle of the workday, or I'm sure neither does Bob. And people are reaching out asking about this and that. There's a dedicated time to talk about these things, and that's right now. So I just want more people to take advantage of this opportunity and use it, right? Because a lot of people will hit me up during the day, and I'm busy. I got other stuff. That's one of the things that I had to decide today was okay, how am I gonna structure today? Because I got meetings not only with my sales calls, but people here inviting me to go to events and go to different places, and I've got to be really mindful of my calendar. And I
Right.
prioritize this, just as you do, and I appreciate you and everybody else in here as well to prioritize this time, but to know that this is that time. This is really that opportunity. If you are serious, if you're stumped, if you've got any deals that you want to underwrite, if you want to look at anything, if you've got a seller you've got to talk to, this is that 30 minutes to an hour where we actually do these things with you, right? It's not going to be all throughout the day, 24/7. You DM me, I'm available. That's not how this works, right? This is that time.
Couldn't have said it better. I mean, honestly, I know you're here every day. I come in on Mondays and Wednesdays in the mornings, and then on Tuesdays in the afternoons, and it's time consuming.
It
You
is,
know,
yeah.
I could be spending this 1 hour right now, making at least 5 to 10 calls
That's
right now,
true. That's
whether
true.
it's to my buyers, to new sellers. I got a pre-foreclosure right now that I'm about to close,
Yep.
and the guy has been waiting for my call. I told him, no, you got to wait until 9 o'clock my time. Okay. Because I am committed to this. Okay. So I'm putting my business on hold for this. Okay. Whereas I could say, "Pff, to hell with this. I'm just going to go make my own money like I was before. I don't need this. Do I really need this community? I mean, I can certainly survive without it. I'm sure everybody in here can survive without it. But is that all I want to do? Do I want to just survive? No. And I think I'm in a place where it's time for me to give back as well, you know? And that's what I'm here for.
Nina asks her a great question. She says, "What do you guys need from us to make your times worth it?" You know what I would feel really good about, Bob? That would really make
Tell
me
me.
feel like what we're doing up here is actually worth the time that we invest.
Tell me, I'm listening.
I want to see more people posting deals that get closed in that daily gains channel. I want
Mm.
to see more people in here actually closing deals. it's not even that I just want to. It's not like because we make money, Bob. We're doing it, right? That's the whole thing. So it's like we do this hour to try to help other people to get to it, right? So I want to
Right.
really see more people actually get after it. I don't want to see the same questions. I don't want to see the same hurdles we got to keep jumping over of like, oh, I'm scared to get on the phone. And I know that it happens. I know that I was there at one point, maybe to some degree. I don't know if I was, petrified to get on the phone. And if maybe you are petrified to get on the phone, this probably isn't, going to work out because you've got to get on the phone. You've got to talk to people in order to close deals. Like there's no way around that, right? The only way around is to hire somebody to do it for you. And if you don't know what you're asking them to do, it's very difficult to train that person to do what you need them to do anyway. So,
Right. I like that. I like
I
that
want
to
to see
show
more people
more
closing more
successes.
deals. And I mean, this big honcho guy in the chat, he's kind of rubbing me the wrong way, man. He's saying that how do they get their deals closed? All the answers are on the channel. I mean, every question that has ever been asked, you can name it. It's been asked, and we've responded. We've answered it, right? You got to take some sort of initiative yourself to search through what you've got. You know what I'm saying? You've got to take some sort of accountability, for where you're at, right? Because we can give you the sauce. We hop up here. We're here to answer your questions. But you've got to get with it, man. You've got to be the one to do the work. And you can't complain, about other people not helping you or giving a helping hand when you're not helping yourself. It seems like, and I'm just kind of assuming. So I'd love for you to hop up on the stage, if you got something that you want to take off your chest. But I'm going to say it right here. I'm going to air it out right here. You sound like you have a very entitled attitude, my friend. And there's nothing owed to you in this world, brother. I'm not owed to you. This community's not owed to you. Nothing is owed to you. There's no deal that's even owed to you, right? What is yours cannot pass you by. I believe that. But if you're not the one, making the calls and picking up the phone and being proactive and getting after it every single day, you're never going to get it. You can never align yourself to deserve it. And so I believe that we do get what we deserve. And I do believe that even sometimes the things that we go through are not, favorable to us in the moment, but they shape us into the character that we say that we want to be. So I want to just encourage everybody to get up after it, man. I don't want to see, like, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand this is your opportunity to set yourself apart, from being legitimately like poor, like legitimately poor. Real estate is giving you this opportunity. If you make a couple phone calls, and not just a couple phone calls, I mean a couple thousand phone calls, you're going to get good at talking to people on the phone. But you could legitimately create freedom for yourself in this world right now. Like there's never been a better time. You've never had more freedom. You've never been able to afford, being able to hop on a plane and go to another country and literally live on a different currency, leverage the money that you have. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a lot of respect for the guy Carson who's in here, Bob, who came in. He shared yesterday on the live because Carson, and he shared this a lot. But Carson's a real go-getter, and I mean Carson, he's put a lot on his back, to really make what he's doing possible. And I look at what Carson has been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time, and I've seen Carson grow from being a wholesaler to being an agent, apartment locator, and now becoming a flipper. Actually buying these houses. These houses are in his name. Like he's really doing the work. And what's crazy about Carson, he actually drives out to these properties, Bob, and he's doing a lot of the work on some of these deals. Like, and he's setting
I
up.
heard. Yeah.
He's setting up.
But that's how you learn. Yeah.
But Bob, I tell you, it's so crazy because I just talked to my mom the other day about the state of the economy. She said that a box of blueberries was like $8, $7 at the grocery store, and it's hard to imagine like being able to really start a small business in the economy that we're in right now in the United States. And I'm not there. I haven't been there for a long time. I've been outside the United States, and I tell you this because I have been. Because of how uncertain this business really can be in the beginning, especially if you don't have the people around you to help you put in systems and processes in place. This business is very feast or famine. Some months you're really popping off, you're closing deals back to back. Some months you go a whole month without closing a deal, right? And you're just loading up the pipeline. Depends on where you're at in your business and what you're doing in your marketing, right? But I'm very grateful to be a United States citizen and have the freedoms to be able to do this business from anywhere, because that's afforded me the luxury of not having to sacrifice, even just the finer things of life, just being able to hop in an Uber wherever I need to go to the store and not worry about, what I'm spending at the store, like things like that. I don't think I would have been able to afford that in the United States, to be honest. So I have a lot of respect for Carson, for sticking with it out there, man, and really, really making it happen, because it's incredible, man. It's a really incredible time we're living in right now, Bob.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, it's not easy, that's for sure. And it gets harder and harder. I mean, life isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be hard. And it is going to get harder and harder. So, it's up to each one of us right now. Do we want to become softer or do we want to become harder? Do we
Yeah.
want to become better, or do we want to just sit and complain and say, well, I don't know what to do. Life isn't fair. The government isn't helping me. Kamala, Trump, I need them to be in office for me. Come on, stop. Stop it. It's all up to you. Whatever you want to do, it's all up to you. Do they affect you? Absolutely they do. But so what? Get over it. Just do what needs to be done. That's all there is to it. You know, unfortunately, I'm not going to say just this society, not just the United States, but pretty much the entire world, in my opinion, is getting softer and softer and softer. Okay? We're getting used to, we seek ease. We seek
Convenience, Bob. It's a
convenience.
convenience-driven society that
Exactly.
we're living in, and I'm telling
Exactly.
people, like, that's why so many of these sellers elect to work with us, is because they don't want to go through the hassle. They don't want to go through the effort of even calling an agent or a few agents to get a quote on what their house could sell for on the MLS. They just want somebody to do it for them. They just want to make a quick search on Google, make a one phone call, sit back and know how much they're getting, and not deal with any of the stress or bullshit that comes with it. And that's what we do. That's why we get paid, is because we know how to be resourceful. We know, hey, if I call up this agent, if I do these things, if I comp this property, if I negotiate for this price, I know that I can get it sold, and I know that I can make a little bit of money on the side as well. Right? And they are willing and happy to, right? They are happy to give up 20, 30, 40, $50,000 in equity of their house because they don't want to make the phone calls, right? That's where we come
Exactly.
in. And you have to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the value proposition that we have. Identifying that we really do live in a convenience-driven society, to the point where people expect their packages to arrive tomorrow, right? Everybody's conditioned to get everything they want right now, right? They want to swipe on their phone. Oh, okay, now I'm in this situation, okay? Now I've got a car arriving that's going to take me from point A to point B. Now I've got food coming to my house, right? Everything is driven by convenience. Nobody wants to wait. People don't want to wait anymore. People don't want to struggle. People don't want to suffer. And that doesn't necessarily mean this is 100% related to your physical struggle, right? Oh, well, I'm the most jacked I've ever been. Yes, it's important to keep, maintain care of your health, and that should be very important. And that's one thing that I'm prioritizing more now, Bob. I realized, like, over the last couple months, I just got consumed with this business, man. I was literally just, the only thing I was focused on was making these calls and doing this thing, and it did get me results, and I'm grateful for that. But I noticed, other areas of my life that were imbalanced, right? And it's difficult, especially as entrepreneurs, to remain in balance, because a lot of time, I'll be honest, you got to get obsessed. You got to be extreme. You got to be focused. You got to be dialed in on one thing. And that, when you become obsessed and extreme and dialed in, requires a sacrifice of something else in your life, right? So you have to really ask yourself and prioritize things that are truly important to you. And I always go back to writing stuff down. Ladies and gentlemen, I have more journals than I know I have. Just writing down, what are my goals? What is it that I want for my life? What type of experience do I want to live? And I tell you, Bob, this is a huge secret that I feel like a lot of people don't take advantage of. When you write things down, I don't think there's really, like, there's only a handful of things that I've written down that probably haven't happened yet.
Yeah.
That's just being honest. Like, everything
Yep.
about my life right now was once written down. I said that I wanted to travel. I wanted to have a location neutral business I wrote about the type of relationship that I want to have. I wrote about the type of lifestyle I want to live. I wrote about the money that I wanted to make, and it's coming, right? At first, that goal was $10,000 a month. We've crushed that, right? That next goal is $100,000 a month, right? We've almost crushed that. So as soon as we do, we just keep on creating. What is that next level? What is that next level? So many people say they want to go to the next level. What is that next level for you, ladies and gentlemen? That's a question I'd love for people to respond in the chat. But that's really a very important question that you all have to ask yourselves, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're a professional, especially if you're in personal development. If you want to get after something, you got to know what it is you're getting up after. Because if you don't, you'll never get it. You got to create that clarity. You got to have a clear intention of what exactly I'm actually working for. And I'll tell you this, Bob, from my experience, we don't get the things we want, Bob. We get the things we need. You know that? And so when we need to close that next deal, you'd be surprised the type of person you turn into when your back's against the wall. You've burned all your boats and you have no choice. You need that next deal. You will make the calls. You're not going to be afraid to make the calls. You say you need 10K a month. Do you really need 10K a month, or would it be convenient? Would it be nice for you to have 10K? Why do you need 10K?
There you go.
Why? Why is it that you need this money? I say that I want a private jet. I'm going to need a private jet, Bob, because of the different countries that I'm going to and the connections that I have. I will put myself in a position, mark my words, at least in the next 5 years, I will have to have at least charter a private jet in the next 5 years. Because the lifestyle that I'm creating for myself. People say they want these things, but like, why? Why do you need these things in your life? You have to create some sort of need. It can't just be an empty desire. It has to be a need that has to be fulfilled.
Love it. Couldn't agree more. That's fantastic. I hope everybody was listening, though. I mean, intently listening.
I hope so too. And I hope that people take action, because just writing down, what it is. And here's the thing too, Bob, is what I'm seeing among some of my friends, my closest friends too. I love my friends. Some of my friends are really killing it right now, Bob. Some of my friends are really killing it. And I'm so proud to see them really killing it. But the thing that I really want to see is, yes, we kill it at the level that we are once striving to kill. But once we start killing it, we gotta continue to raise the bar. We cannot just get comfortable, in wholesaling, because wholesaling is a great way to get started in the industry and do these things. But we can't just stay at a wholesaling level unless that's really what we want. If we really want to scale it up, do this and that. But if we're in real estate, if we're here to build a portfolio, if we're here to start building houses, if we're here to start fixing and flipping stuff, we got to start fixing and flipping stuff. We got to start adding properties to our portfolios, even if that means we got to take a risk to do it. Because the reality is, there's no perfect time for anything, Bob. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I feel like I've really noticed that, is that there's really no such thing as a perfect time for anything. We won't ever feel ready for the next level, the next stage. But if you just do it, you're gonna be ready. You can't stay unready. You can't stay unprepared when you're thrown into the fire. You gotta figure it out. You know? And I say this. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, based on what you were talking about, I mean, you're so right on. It couple of points. One, real estate. I mean, you are a very ambitious person. You want to become a billionaire, and I'm sure one day you will become that billionaire. So you have to go through a specific type of track to get there. Okay? But not everybody wants to be a billionaire, John. Some people might be happy with just making a couple of $1,000s extra every month. They're happy with their jobs. They like what they do. They just don't like the way that it pays. So they look at real estate as, hey, if I can get an extra $2,000 to $5,000 a month, I'm set. I'm happy. I got my 401k at work. I got my insurance from work. I got good boss. I got good friends. My family's happy. I get to take my 2 weeks of vacation every year. I'm good. I'm happy. More power to you, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay. And some people, and then there are people who are in the middle, right? People who want, a better car, a better house, a better lifestyle, be able to travel more. Okay. Whatever it is. Okay. So, like you were saying, do you really need that 10K? Do you really want the extra money. Okay, so it all comes down to what your needs are and what you really want. Okay,
Mm.
and the beauty of this business, real estate, is that it can provide you from a couple of hundred, couple of thousand. I mean, you can be just a bird dog. Hey, bring me the leads, bring me those vacant houses that look, worn down, and I'll pay you a couple of $100 for each one of them. You know, so if that's all you want, great. Real estate can provide that for you. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you want to be a billionaire like John does, you certainly have the ability to do it through real estate as well. It's just not going to be with wholesaling or bird dogging. Okay, you gotta advance. You gotta
Man.
go from kindergarten to first grade to high school to college to your PhD. Okay, that's what it's going to take. But that's the beauty of this industry, is that you have the ability. Okay, and there are so many different ways that you can make money. I mean, I just saw Pansy's face and I just got reminded, hey, she is a hard, a star networker. Okay, she can connect people like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so if you need a connection, Pansy's your woman. Okay, so she makes money that way. All right, and she can make money in other ways, but that's what she feels comfortable. That's what she wants to do. More power to her. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. She doesn't want to be on the call, on the phones, maybe, making cold calls or whatever. So what? Okay. She's making money in other ways. And that's the beauty of this business. So that's why I love real estate. Your hands are open to do whatever you want and desire. So, yeah.
And that's why I value this community so much, Bob, is because you come in here and there are a lot of people that do wholesale properties, and you have to understand how valuable of a skill that is, because these people that are in a position where they're just ready to fix and flip these properties, they don't want to deal with the problems that the wholesalers deal with. They don't want to deal with the drama in the families and the heartache, that wholesalers have to go through with deals falling apart and going direct to seller and negotiating on this stuff and seeing houses that have animals all over the place and this kind of thing. They just want a deal ready for them to buy, right? They want to have that convenience of being able to purchase a property at a significant discount, right? And that's what we have to offer to these buyers. And they're here. You'd be surprised how many of them are here. They are here. And I'm sure that once we get a solid platform to put these deals in front of these buyers and actually have them vetted as well, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. Now, what you also shared about, me wanting to be a billionaire, I do want to hit that level, and I am working towards that. But I feel like wholesaling it can't be the vehicle, because I don't see myself scaling past 100,000 a month. I think that's probably the ceiling for maybe a 1-2 person team, is like 100,000. I know that there are some people, doing some bigger numbers, maybe up, a couple million a year, but that's still not enough, to get to billions of dollars, right? I think to get to billions of dollars or $1 billion, it has to be some sort of development, right? I have to be doing something significant. I have to own some sort of commercial development or a huge portfolio of single family residential houses, and
Oh,
I just
God.
don't. I
You
don't
don't want
know.
you don't want to
Yeah,
do that.
I don't think I want to do that. But what I see myself doing is apartment complexes. I really think that that's how
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
make it. I really think that's how I'm gonna make
There
it.
you go. Yeah, commercial is your way. Commercial, multifamilies, that's the way to become a billionaire. Okay? You you're not going to become a billion. Well, I'm not going to say that, but it's more difficult to becoming a billionaire with single families. If you want a comfortable life, single families, yeah. I mean, shoot, anything residential, you know, buy a few, buy 5 to 10 uh, multiplexes, like duplex, triplex, quads, okay, and just live off of the rents, and you're comfortable, okay. You can be comfortable, but you got to define comfort for yourself and your family. So it all depends. not where I thought that today's uh, live stream was going to go, but I'm glad it did. This was good. This was very good.
No, absolutely. I'm grateful. We could chop it up. I know we got about 15 minutes left. If there's anybody else that has some questions, wants to talk about a deal, wants to share, what's going on in their world, this is that time. Don't be afraid. Raise your hand. Get up here. Get in front of the people. I was having a conversation today. I wanted to do a live call, but I think it's hard for us to maybe think about how difficult it might be to just raise your hand and hop up on the stage, because we do it every day. We just get up here and we talk about things, and people come, they listen, they participate. Though, for that person that might be new, or that maybe even has a couple of deals under their belt, that doesn't really feel the most comfortable, putting themselves out there, throw yourself in the fire. Take a risk today. I like to take at least one new risk every day, something that's going to push the needle a little forward. This could be that risk for you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to go against the grain so far from what I see in the chats. I'm going to give Big Honcho a praise. Okay? He's actually talking. He's actually conversing. Okay, it's rubbing you and me the wrong way perhaps. Yes. Okay? But maybe we're not in his shoes, okay? But he's still sticking to his guns. I like that. I respect that. Big Honcho, it sounds like you're a 19-year-old kid. Okay, and forgive me if I say kid, because I'm much older than you are. I'm almost 60. Okay, and but you're fresh, you're new. It sounds like you're hungry. You want to learn. That's great. Okay, and asking questions, there's nothing wrong with it. I think what the people are saying in here to you is that you need to, instead of just keep asking questions, you need to be looking for the answers on your own as well. Okay, it's our job to perhaps guide you. Okay, have you gone into the chat, or now called general channel in this community, and just go to the search box and search whatever question you're asking right now? I promise you, most of your questions have already been answered. Okay, you just need to dig first. Okay, so think of this community, think of the general chat as a knowledge base. Okay, it is filled with a ton of information that you have to pay a lot of money for in other communities and with other gurus to get the answers to. I've gone through so many courses, through so many mentorships, through so many gurus, okay? And I will continue to do it because I always want to grow, okay? So that's not ever going to stop for me, okay? But what I've learned, I pour into this community. I bring it out to this community. I don't have to do any of this. Neither does John. Neither does any leader in here. We do it because we want to help you guys, okay? So if we say, hey, take your questions, first check, okay? First check the knowledge base. First check the general chat. See if that question has been answered yet or not. And I promise you, 90 to 95% of your questions have been answered. If they haven't, by all means, come in here, ask the other questions, okay? And we'd be more than happy to answer them for you. We're not trying to knock you down. We're not trying to knock people who have questions, okay? It's not that we feel like, hey, you asking questions, we don't want to answer them. It's because we've already answered them several times already, okay? And all we ask is that you take the first step. This is your journey, your business. You got to take control of it. You can't give control to me and John. If John and I aren't here to answer your questions, you can't go crying and go, well, real estate sucks. I'm never going to do that. That shows weakness, my friend, okay? And it sounds like, I don't know you. I've never met you. I don't know you. But from the way you're asking questions, it sounds like you're not that kind of a person. I could be wrong. I don't know. But it sounds like you want to really learn. So go learn. Don't depend on me or John or everybody here, okay? It all depends on you. It's all on your shoulders, not mine, not John's. We don't have any duty to help you, okay? It's your responsibility to learn. Now, if you want help after you've done massive amount of research, okay, and you still don't find the answers, yeah, by all means, come to us. We'll be happy to answer them. But the way that Anthony or Aaron or anybody else is answering you, it's because they've gone through the quote unquote hazing that you feel like you're going through right now as well. Okay? And they came asking questions, and we kept on answering them or telling them, go F off, go learn it yourself. This has already been answered. So now it's Big Honcho's turn. You got to go do it on your own. Okay? And if you don't find the answers, by all means, John is here Monday through Friday. I'm here Mondays and Wednesdays. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions that are left, unanswered. Pansy, good
Good
morning, young lady.
morning. How's
How are
everyone
you?
doing?
Wonderful.
Morning.
I'm good. I just wanted to say something to I forget what his name is, who you were just speaking to in the chats.
Big Honcho.
Yeah, Big Honcho. Okay, sorry, apologize. We're supposed to have our real names in here, so if he could first change his name, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Second, real estate, there's a lot to it, and if you're completely new, it is like learning a new language, because I know from experience, when I first found real estate investing, I knew diddly squat, but I had already purchased a few personal properties before that and still knew nothing about it. Everyone's willing to help, but there's a way to ask. And before you go asking some of these questions, like Bob said, there's plenty of resources out there with the answers. Especially you being a younger person, you understand Google and YouTube give you so much information. So when people don't want to answer all your questions, do not get frustrated with them. Because most likely the answer is there in front of your face somewhere. You just have to do a little bit more research. Nobody wants to come in here and do the research for you. And beyond that, you can always ask the questions here on stage. You can ask someone to jump in to one of the voice channels with you. So please just don't argue in the chat and expect people to do the work for you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Pansy.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is your journey, my friend. Okay? This is each one of us have our own journeys. My journey is completely different than John. I do not want to be a billionaire. He wants to be a billionaire. More power to him. I'll be rooting for him all the way until he becomes one. Okay? But that's not my journey. And my journey is completely different than Pansy or Laura or everybody else in here, including you, Big Honcho. I mean, I used to think this way. It was, hey, I want to be you. Okay. I want to be Pace. I want to be Grant Cardone. I want to be John Johnson. And then I learned something. Okay. There's already a John Johnson out there in the world. There's already a Pace Morby out there in the world. There's already a Grant Cardone out there in the world. There's already a Pansy Sleep out there in the world. Okay. But there's no Bob Saadai out there except me. Okay. So I want to be me. And that's what you should be going after. Find out what you really, truly want out of life and put your head down and go for it. If you're 19, the next 10 years, I promise you, okay? Don't be conservative. Don't do what most parents want you to do, which is go get a safe job and be happy and stuff like that, okay? Go take as much risk as you possibly can. Calculable risk, okay? Not stupid risk, okay? I'm not telling you to go jump off a bridge, okay? I'm telling you to take wise risks, okay? And see how fast you grow. That's what John is doing right now. He's taking risks, okay? It doesn't sound like it, but he is. He took a risk and moved out of the country, okay? He took a risk in sticking with it, with real estate, when people were telling him, oh man, come on, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. You're losing your life. Get out of it. Save yourself. He didn't listen, okay? Because he knew what he truly wanted, okay? And that's what you should be doing. Everybody should be doing, okay? Be yourself. Be true to yourself and just go for it. Don't worry about it. take those risks and chances. Laura, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Bob. I had a hard time getting on here. I wasn't here. I was able to get on originally, but it was I didn't get any sound. So
Well, I'm
anyway,
glad
I
that
just
you got it figured out.
yeah. So I just have a quick question. I recently approached a tax delinquent property
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't answer their phone, and the the homeowner is just he just had surgery. He's going to lose his house to taxes
Mm-hmm.
next month.
Okay.
And I have submitted a few properties already to you guys, and nothing ended up coming of them, but I just because of the short deadline,
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if I should just go ahead and submit this one. He didn't answer his phone when I called him before, and I
Mm-hmm.
had the right phone number because when I talked to him face to face,
Mm-hmm.
he confirmed that was his number, and I left him my business card and that type of thing. He just doesn't seem very receptive to giving his house up, and yet I don't think he has the funds. I can't be sure. We didn't get into that conversation. I mean, I did ask him if he had anybody that could help him get caught up, that type of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a good deal if we can get it because there is no mortgage. And I really don't know if there's any other liens. I didn't see any. I did a little research on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So
So the
I don't
conversations
know
that
what.
you've had, well, okay. So first of all, you said that tax delinquent is due next month, the auction. Is it earlier in the month or later in the month? I just want to see how much time do we really have.
Well, it was already auctioned off a couple years ago to a buyer, tax buyer. So the buyer can come for the deed now. He can, if he hasn't paid, if the seller hasn't paid his taxes by next month, he can put in for the deed for the property, the buyer, the tax buyer. So that's what we're looking at. And
Okay, so
I don't
this
know.
is much more involved from what you're saying. So this property has already gone through auction, a tax auction, and
Mhm.
an investor came in and purchased it at the auction. But this property is in a state where they have uh, what's it called? Redemption, right? A redemption period. And based on the redemption period, this person, the current homeowner, has, I guess, up to 2 years. Is that what you're saying? Of time
No,
to.
they've got it up till next month now because it's already been the taxes have been sold for the last few years already. So they only get
Wait,
like I think
no. So when was the house auctioned?
house wasn't let me just pull up my program because I have a bunch of stuff here. It was
Yeah, I know,
actually
liar. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
okay. The taxes were paid by a tax buyer the last four they're paid biannually in
No,
Illinois.
I understand. I understand that they're paid annually or biannually. I understand that. But when did the property actually go to auction?
The property has not gone to auction yet. The tax buyer is entitled to put in for the deed and go to court if he hasn't paid his taxes by the whole balance of what's due. If he hasn't paid them by next month, like it's I think around the 18th.
I'm sorry. Did you say that someone came in and already paid those taxes, though? Or did I misunderstand?
Tax No, no, that's correct. The taxes were paid. That's how it works here. And then,
So if
but then they
someone
have to
came in
actually,
and paid the taxes, that means that it was an auction and someone came in
Mhm,
and paid those taxes to have the
correct.
right to own the property after the redemption period is over. And I believe in Illinois it's 6 months. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. So
Uh,
that 6 months is going to be up next month. Okay, from what you're saying.
Right, the final 6 months, because the owners had like 2 years to get caught up on his payments, and he still hasn't paid them. So now the person that paid the taxes can put in to go to court in front of the judge and ask for the deed to the property, seeing that he hasn't been paid back. So, I mean, the judge could dispute it. I suppose he could, if the owner goes and goes to court, he could possibly dispute it. But for the most part, I don't see him doing it because he's in
Yeah.
kind of bad shape right now.
Right. Right. So he basically needs to, the seller needs to come up with the money to be able to pay off the investor who paid off all those taxes, plus penalties or interest, whatever are the rules for Illinois. Okay.
Correct.
And
Correct.
so that's where Laura comes in and says, okay, if I pay all of these, then you're going to sell to me, right? And then the homeowner can sell it to you at that point. Okay. So is that what I'm hearing? Is that correct?
Right, but you wouldn't want to pay the taxes unless you get something in writing first that you're going to,
Absolutely.
because he could say,
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely. Yeah. You
So,
want a purchase agreement signed. Okay.
right.
And the purchase agreement amount is going to be whatever is owed, okay, to the investor who paid off the taxes plus his interest and whatever else it is, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yes.
if there is equity left, if there's a large amount of equity left, then you can give the seller some of that equity. If there's not a lot left, then the homeowner basically walks away with nothing except the fact that he does not have a tax delinquent foreclosure on his record. So that's the benefit to him.
Right.
Okay. So
Correct.
so you need to find out how much is owed to the investor. What amount does he need to pay the county, okay, or the city, whoever that did the auction, to pay off the investor, okay? And then do you have any idea of what the ARV of the property is, what the value of the house is?
Yeah, based on the comps I ran already,
Mhm.
it's like in the mid 300s.
Perfect. Okay, so let's say it's worth 350. Okay, and let's say
Mhm.
that the house is in decent condition. So obviously, if it's not, then you want to subtract from that 350 the rehab costs or upgrading, whatever it needs. Okay, then let's say,
Right.
just as an example, he owes $120,000 to the investor. Okay, so let's say that the house needs $40,000 of rehab. Okay, so that's 350 minus the 40, that's 310. Okay, and you need to pay 120 to the investor. Okay, think of the investor in this situation as a mortgage lender. Okay, that you need to pay off. Okay, so 310 minus the 120 leaves you 190. Okay, so that's
Mhm.
roughly, and then obviously you want to take your assignment fee if you're wholesaling it. Okay, and
Right.
whoever that you want to sell it to needs to make a profit. So you go through all those costs as well, subtract it, and let's say you're left with $5,000 or $10,000. You are able to give that 5,000 or 10,000 to the seller, or keep it for yourself. It's all up to you. Okay.
Mhm.
So you just have
Right.
to work it backwards.
I,
Okay.
I I know the procedure because I've done a couple wholesales in the past. It's been a long time since I did that.
Hmm.
And I understand the whole number thing and
Hmm.
all. My problem is trying to get the seller to agree to this. He didn't answer the phone the first time. The only way I was able to reach him was to knock on the door, and he happened to be home and he was sitting in a chair and he invited me to come in. He really didn't even know who I was, but but I guess I didn't look scary to him, so he let me come in. But so that's the dilemma I'm having. Even though I know what has to happen, that's why I was wondering if it's. I mean, I could submit it to you guys because I mean you'll help with the deals, correct?
Of course. Yeah.
Make the calls.
So have you submitted
Right,
that to us
right.
already, Laura?
I haven't, but that's why I'm asking you, because the deadline is November 18th.
Oh, we got time.
And
We got time. Send it. Send it right away so we can get going on it as quickly as possible and make this happen.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
And just so
Yeah,
you know, Laura, we just switched our CRM. Okay. And
okay.
the new CRM, unfortunately, is not updating our wholesalers yet. Okay, so we're working on that. We have a coder that's working on that right now to make sure that all our wholesalers get updated as we work on each file. Okay, so if you don't receive anything, I'm afraid that's why. But please don't hesitate to reach out to me or whoever else that you have in your contacts from my team, and we'll be more than happy
Mhm.
to update you and help you in any way.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And what is your number? I think I have it in my phone, but I'll have to.
If you
You,
go to my profile, you'll see my number there too.
okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you,
Of
Bob.
course, you got it. Thank
Okay.
you for coming in, Laura.
Thank
Hey,
you.
didn't know we could submit deals in this stage. Great to know. Yeah, you can. So Lyre, the way that we work is we help. My team and I help everybody, depending on the stages that they are. Some people will just bring us a name, address, and a phone number. That's it. They're like, "Hey, I was walking down the street and I saw this house. It looked like it was in really bad condition. I knocked the door. The guy gave me his name and number. Here you go." Okay, great. We work with that. Okay. Obviously, you don't get to split 50-50 on that with us because we're doing practically all the work. Okay. So you get a referral fee for that. And then we have some people who actually cold call, make the calls, get the 4 pillars or 5 pillars that we ask for, build rapport and do all of that. And then from there, they don't know how to negotiate or, put the property under contract. They send it to us at that phase. Okay, great. We work with you on that. Okay. And our normal splits are 70-30. Okay, because now we're negotiating, we're putting it under contract, we're dispoing it, and at close of escrow, we get 70%, the wholesaler gets 30%. If the wholesaler does everything, puts it under contract, and then is looking to dispo it, find a buyer for it, and brings it to us at that stage, then we split it 50-50 with them because they've done half the work, we're doing the other half. So that's how we work. Hope that helps.
Well, I know that helps me, Bob. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody for coming to join us today, and hoping and praying that everybody has a fantastic day today, a productive day today, an abundant day today, and a prosperous day today.
Likewise. Now go grind. Go put your head down and grind. And have a productive day. See you guys next week. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Bob. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, you got to subscribe to the #1 most valuable real estate YouTube channel in existence. I just dropped the YouTube there. It's youtube.com/@REI Revolution. You can catch all the replays from Coffee with Closers to masterminds to live seller calls. You can see how we negotiate deals, how we underwrite them, and everything is there. All right? You've got to be the one to go click that link, subscribe to the channel, and watch the videos. Guys, take advantage of this opportunity. You have a chat where you can instantly tap in and be in proximity with people, not only on the text side in the general chat, but also on the voice channel side. You can hop into the clubhouse at any time throughout the day, work with people, get feedback in real time from other members of the community. And I encourage you all to just contribute where you can, any way that you can. We will catch you back here Thursday and Friday. I'll be putting out an announcement for the 2 podcasts. We've got Scott Morris of Lamasu Leads coming on. He's going to be telling us about his story in real estate and how he has started and scaled a company of cold callers here in Columbia. Going to be extremely interesting to hear how he's pulled that off. And we've got Miss Ella Ray joining us to talk about transaction coordination and how she's helping wholesalers and other people structure and close their creative finance deals. Take care, everybody.